She lives! I have survived. No, it wasn't me that was the problem. It was my PC. We ended up with a bad situation, but I got it all cleaned up. It just took me a while to get. It took me longer to get all my shit back than it did. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I need a haircut really bad. I do want to get some kind of music. I was gonna do just regular background music, but I don't know. I was kind of feeling the trap today. Let's see what No Copyright Sounds has for us. And playlists. Also, audio bad because of the AC. We are in a really bad heat wave right now. In Pennsylvania. Oh, it does, okay. I was double checking. I'm out of practice. If I turn it down on the player, it turns it down in the OBS. So I have to adjust the sound through my headphones, which is okay because I don't know if I'm gonna open any other programs today. Sometimes we do video share. I also don't have my pop filter still. It's in my drawer. I was a little late getting everything together. Well, I mean, I guess I was like right on time. I worked a little longer than I expected to today. Just, I don't know, just got caught up. Can't see anything. Also not wearing as much makeup as I typically do. I haven't worn it since my last stream. Just trying to give my skin some space to breathe. Not that it was on my face, but it's on my screen. If I find any of these songs that I actually like, we'll add it to the playlist. Because we do have to remove some of those stuff from the other playlist. Because, like, Cradles is no longer no copyright. I'm having a bad hair day. Bad hair day. An okay hair day, let's say. I didn't move, I just adjusted things again. My desk used to be, like, right here against the bed. But I needed a change. My brain gets all restless sometimes, and I just gotta uproot everything. I'm gonna switch windows here. I also don't have the window that I typically use because Firefox is not set up and I didn't like save my profiles to log in, so I have to go and like re-add everything. Oh well. Some things just don't take priority. It took me days. It took me days. I have like really bad dry skin too. Going on. To get like Skyrim working again. It took me multiple attempts at like reloading the mods and getting all of the correct mods and everything, and then my save file got corrupted. Well, first of all, I downloaded all of them. I got them all working. It took like a day and a half. And then I went to go switch and do Fallout, and I realized I was in the wrong fucking folder, so I had to go and take out all the mods again, and then redo it. So I just finished yesterday. I finally got a save that's not corrupted. It was a mess. I still haven't done Fallout. The only games that... Well, I have, like, the vanilla... All of my vanilla games exactly as they were, but I don't have, the modded. And I need to get in my save files, so we're kind of screwed. Hopefully I get the Fallout stuff by Friday, but I don't know. I also have Destiny stuff because I was picking up Destiny again. It's the cards. And like, holy shit, that game is beautiful. Like I did some of the Pale Heart missions. It's difficult because I'm like, it's not super difficult. There was a couple parts where I was getting frustrated, but because I'm like playing on my own. This is one of my favorites, but it's already on our list. But like the Pale Heart quest and everything, oh my god, it is so pretty. That game is so beautiful. Clean shit up. But yeah, this last week I've just, oh my god, my bit rate gets taken. Why? Hold on. $6,000. Good try. 6,000 kilobytes per second. I don't think so, man. Let's hope that goes better. I was steady at 5,000, but I set it to 2,500, so. My chat back where it was. Is my bot working? I didn't do anything with it. No, I'm not even logged in. How about that? I did finish season 2 of Lost on time for the stream that I was supposed to do, but because my PC was just fucked, I was like, nah. But I finished season 2 of Lost, and then I didn't like the way that it ended, so I peeked into season 3, a couple episodes, but I still don't know if John's alive or not, and I went back and ended up rewatching some of the episodes for season 2 because, I need to... What was I saying? I went into season 3 because I need to see if John's alive. Because he's my favorite character and I'm not okay and I still don't know. But I went back and rewatched season 2 because I was listening to, like, I had it on the second monitor while I was working. And so I didn't pay attention to, like, I didn't pay super attention to a lot of stuff. But this time I am. Man, they really love to beat the fuck out of Sawyer in season 2. Man, shoulders are never gonna recover. I don't think I've watched any movies though. Like I said, I played a little bit of Destiny. I played a little bit of Skyrim to get my save back to where it was. So we'll either do, for Wednesday, we'll either do just chatting or Skyrim or Destiny because it's my birthday and I don't know what I'm gonna want to do yet. Not totally positive. I said I was gonna get sushi, but I don't know, maybe. It's a good time. Yes, this Cloudbot is on. Let's see. Ooh. I forgot that I had rules. Oh, is my... Wait, does Prime not go through anymore? Either way, thank you, Chris, for the sub. I appreciate you. I am on season 3. I think I got like 3 episodes in before I went back and started watching season 2 again because I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck happened? I don't know if John's okay. But yeah, my bot is up. I should... Twitch alerts is there. And there is a link. I literally just loaded up my profile, or like my scene thing. Because I exported the file right before I wiped my computer. But I didn't like fully wipe it, I just wiped the like Windows stuff. I did the option where you can keep your files. What are my alerts through? I should probably know that. My focus has been elsewhere. Stream elements. Alright. Go off, I guess. Oh, I guess I have a tiny bruise there. I must have walked into something. I was looking at it in the OBS. How do you fucking log into this website? Oh my god. Update your email. Oh, that is not my email. That email's been dead for a long time. Yes, I do speak English. Sometimes. The overlays? Oh yeah. Copy of Boo. I'm so good at file naming. Let's do... Emulate. Subscriber event. Oh fuck yeah! Oh, double. Alright, so it's still working, it's just Prime. I don't know what's going on with Twitch. I saw a thing today of like the new Plus, Twitch Plus, which is, I guess, different than affiliate because I'm affiliate. And nothing has changed because I just got a payout, so. Questions. Oh no, I'm not changing a name. What commands do we got? Got my wish list. Yeah, my shout out should work. I set up the command so you can just do command shout out like we've always done because they changed it to the slash, so the command shout out should trigger the slash event because they do like the thing with the clips now and everything. I can't believe that's still a thing. I have my mod list for Fallout 4, but I deleted the one for Skyrim because I had to change like everything just to get it working. It was a pain in the ass. Desktop. I'm confused. I thought they got rid of the Streamlabs desktop forever ago. Not the OBS, not the Streamlabs OBS, but the Streamlabs chatbot. Which is where like all of my quotes and stuff were, so I had to go through and put them in. Which is why some of them have the game that I was playing or the category I was in is just, I put tit. Because it wouldn't let me save it without one. Even though you could clearly see in the chat that there's some of them that do. That when they were put in, there is no category information. I don't know why when I start streaming I suddenly can't breathe and my nose starts running. That's why I sniffle a lot. I think it's also partially that I have a deviated septum. And I didn't know that until I went to a piercer to go get my septum done. And he's like, man, your shit's gonna be crooked. And he's like, I'll still do it though. And then he totally ghosted me. Which is fine, because I didn't want that anyway. I was splitting my lip, my face is all dry. Oh, it's so melty. This is the only one I have that's like actual chapstick. The one I usually use when I'm not live is this one. Except it's a lip mask, technically, so it's sticky as fuck, and if I try to, like, do that and have a conversation, it's not gonna be a good situation. I haven't removed all my shit, so I don't know where anything is. That's why, like, when I decide to get something, I have to, like, look around real quick. I haven't quite adjusted to the new arrangement, but I wanted to make it so, like, there was more open space on the floor for Ro. Because all she had before was under the bed, and then, like, this tiny section over here. So that, and I wanted better lighting, because for some reason doing the lighting, because my desk was like literally right here, up against here, so I could like turn the monitors and watch TV in bed. That says anything about me as a person. But it was like really dark there, and I would get like shadows on my face, so now I'm up against a wall, and that lighting seems to be a little better. I tried to have my desk against like here, so that I could use the natural light, but it's not gonna happen, especially with an AC in the window. And we are in a heat wave! I keep getting updates on my phone from the Weather Channel app. Wow, I tried to say that. That's like, heat advisory, and then it'll be like, it's gonna be over on Monday, and then a little bit later, it's gonna be over on Tuesday. It's gonna be over on Wednesday. It's never gonna end. Alright. Where are we starting off today? I still haven't decided yet what to do for birthday stuff. Because, I don't know, I typically... I was gonna say I would typically set up something with, like, multiple people, do, like, multiplayer games or something. But I don't like reaching out, making plans with people, so if they don't make plans with me, then I'm just like, I'm okay. Like, it's not like not like I'm crumbling with loneliness. That doesn't sound like a cope or anything. It's just, like, I don't know, I have to be exclusively invited to something or exclusively asked, do you want to do this on this day? Or my brain doesn't cope well. I don't do well with ambiguous statements. Like, if you tell me that there's a party at your house that starts at 7 and you want me to be there, I will be there at 7. You know, there's all the, like, social rules of, like, that's just a suggestion when people will start flowing in. No, I'm gonna be there exactly on time, and I'm probably going to help you set up and and take stuff down. My hair's a state today. So yeah, I don't really like to make plans that way. And like, if I ask a few people to do something, like, you guys want to do this for Wednesday for my birthday, like maybe one of them will show up, and it's like I don't know how to I don't know how to adjust all of my thoughts and all the game stuff. Because if, for example, or to do something like Phasma or something, you need a group of like 4, I think, and then 4 people would tell me that they'll be there, and then 1 will. So, there's that. We are upright. So I typically just... I don't know. And I thought about the fact that, like, for the longest time, I said that I like to do nothing on my birthday, which means that I would, like, clean the house, do the dishes, like, have everything set up so I could enjoy a clean house on my birthday and not have to do a goddamn thing. And then I thought about it, and I have not lived alone for the past 10 years. And these motherfuckers couldn't, like, take over for 1 fucking day for my birthday? Are you kidding me? So yeah, that was probably a trauma thing. Or a cope for my birthday. It's 4. So I'm gonna do something that I like to do on Wednesday. If I do Skyrim, there won't, like, if I did something like Destiny, I could have, like, a queue or something. I just can't have, like, Discord. So we started with the 4 of Wands, was the first card, which is Celebration. Which is funny because it's my birthday stuff. These motherfuckers think they're clever. Just kidding. And the Chariot's movement is almost unstoppable. It moves in a clear direction. Celebrate yourself. The coachman carries a bell to announce his presence. Celebration incoming, man. Just what the stream is about. So, like, where are we starting today? That's where we're starting. Celebrations incoming. My neck's a little stiff. Oh my god! I don't know what that was. I thought it was a card, but was not. I'm getting better at shuffling, and my cards are getting more broken in than they ever have been. As I... I'm getting better, proceeds to struggle. I don't know, I haven't always been the best about celebrating myself. Also, I never, like, really had a birthday to myself, because even though we are not twins, we are 3 years apart, me and my sister have the same birthday. And because she was older most of the celebrations were about her. Or, of course, my mother. You should celebrate me for giving birth to you. I didn't ask you to. Nobody asked. Ooh, the magician. Creation. Manifestation. Set your intentions. This is supposed to be the biggest trap song. These are just not things I'm enjoying necessarily. Yeah, I'm rewatching season 2 because I watched of Lost because I watched it while I was working and I wanted to pay more attention. And the thing that I've noticed the most in rewatching the episodes is they just like beat the absolute fuck out of Sawyer, like every episode. And also, it starts out with like they're talking about the others, right? So season 2 opens with like them being others, and Charlie flat out says, "There's no others. Like you guys are being ridiculous." Did you forget you got hanged by someone who was not on the flight manifest? And like, I get in season 1 that, like, when they were going after the guy who wasn't on the manifest, who had hanged Charlie after they brought him back to life, they give him a gun and they go out hunting for this guy. And Charlie's the one who kills him, and everyone's like, "What'd you do that for?" But like, he killed me first! Oh. If Jack didn't go all rogue on his chest, he would not be alive. Wait, magician transforms spiritual energy into real-world change. Its appearance of the card speaks of creativity, originality, skill, and confidence. In relation to emotions, it is a sign of potential success that it indicates existence of resources and capacities to undertake new projects. Which, I have also been doing that. Yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I decided to start another piece, and then I started going back and working on old ones after I posted them on my Instagram story. And I realized just like, I don't know, in my head, like when my skill goes up and I'm able to do things, for some reason, when I like think about past pieces, I think that they're the same quality and they're just not. So I started going back and reworking some old pieces too, and they're coming out really good. So I'm really excited about that. And I thought I might do Prince or something. I've always said I wouldn't, especially with the Nemesis stuff, but as much time as I've put into that fucking thing, I should do something with it. And like, yeah, I mean, technically the figure of Nemesis is a copyrighted image, but it's not based on, the thing that I'm using is not based on the video game. It's based on the costume in the glass case that's, excuse me, from Resident Evil Apocalypse 2, the movie. So, maybe if I don't call it Nemesis, like I get, but people do that like all the time on fucking like Etsy and stuff. The only one that really comes after you is Disney or Nintendo, so I should be okay. This is another one of my favorites. Rancius, Fearless. It is part 1 and 2, and I think part 1 doesn't have any lyrics. I don't know why I can't, like, sit straight at the camera. I gotta rotate. In my range of motion. My area of attack. I am in a ridiculous mood today. So the Queen of Blades just came up. Is movement based only on feelings, which kind of speaks more. It speaks to the musician or magician. Freudian slip. The magician who speaks to creativity, creation, turning spiritual energy into. I haven't worn my glasses in over a week, so they're bothering me too. Manifestation and success in regards to emotion. And then Queen of Blades is movement based on that emotion. It's one of my favorite cards, not because of what it means, but because of just the imagery. So good. I haven't seen what it's from. What is it from? Where are we? It's from Strain. That's one I haven't watched yet. Uncontrolled changes, which is similar to, like, I guess the feeling or theme of the art that I started yesterday, which was Release. And it's like a hand with like the nail grooves in it, just like finally releasing, letting go letting go of the outcome and expectation around whatever it is that you're doing, asking for, manifesting. But I like it because she's like cut off her own head and is serving it on a platter, as if like kind of speaking to like the ego, I guess. And when I say like people haven't really faced their egos, I'm not talking about fucking psychedelic trips. I don't know why everyone thinks that. Well, I guess I do, but that's such a shallow thing in comparison to what I'm actually talking about. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I haven't had to think about my appearance in over a week, so just chill. But it's like when you're confronted with something that challenges like your beliefs or challenges your point of view of certain things, and you're accepting somebody else's point of view, especially when it comes to like any type of relationship, you know, whether it be your friends, partners, whatever, speaking to any type of relationship, that in order to see how your actions could have been viewed in a different way, you have to sort of not take what they're saying as like an attack on your entire being. Like, I'm not, just because I have an issue with a small thing doesn't mean I have an issue with you as a whole person. And typically when you tell people who are not emotionally mature that's like, this action upset me, they tend to enter like a triggered state and a fearful state. And that's like the ego trying to preserve itself, and that's when they start lashing out and saying things that, you know, I would say may not mean, I guess. If you've ever been like in an emotionally volatile relationship, that's very typical cycle of how like the fights work. It's like, I didn't like this thing that you did, and so it turns into like this big blowout when it really shouldn't be. It should just be a moment to take and reflect on your behavior, reflect on how things can be seen differently than you expect them to be seen, and then course correct to hopefully repair the connection. But I mean, you could avoid it for years and years and then eventually split up, but I digress. Like, it's like things in the news or whatever. I saw the thing about Boogie, and when people were pressing and questioning this thing, he started like screaming basically and becoming like that Francis character again. Boogie 2988, if you don't know what I'm referencing, there's allegedly faking cancer, and when people tried to get him to verify this diagnosis because he's using it to exploit people for money, they're not just like, we don't believe you. He's like, his actions were actually harmful. And when he starts to realize that what he's done is wrong and like that people are challenging it, he starts turning into this character that's just like screaming and so elevated and just mentally unwell. And that's an ego thing. That's like an ego lashing out. So that's why I really like the Queen of Blades card, because it looks like, even though it's not necessarily in the meaning based on the book, the imagery is like putting your head on a platter and like serving it. Is like, yeah, this is what I did that was fucked up. Yeah. Sever the ego. Starve the ego, feed the soul. I never understood that. Like, I guess I do understand it as in like a concept. When I say I don't understand something, it's not necessarily like I don't understand why something happens, because obviously facts are there. I understand why certain things happen. But like, once I got to the point that my brain matured enough that I realized that my actions could be hurtful, then I started reflecting on like the different ways that my behavior has affected people. And you know, this was when I was like younger, like early 20s and whatever, and like when somebody acted toxic in a relationship, I would act toxic back, because it's just ego fighting ego at this point. And it's just, you know, the main goal at that point, because you like enter the lizard brain and the limbic system, so you're not in your frontal and you're not making logical decisions. You're in your lizard brain, which is just self-preserve, self-preserve, self-preserve. So people manipulate, people lash out, people, you know, do angry things like, oh my god, what is this? I almost called him QVC. He's not QVC. It was one of the streamers. The ones that like does literally nothing. He was part of like ReactGate or whatever, because he was reacting to things and not crediting the creator, and he doesn't like actually react to anything. He just, you know, watches something while his face is also on the screen. What the fuck was his name? QVC. I think the first time I actually saw him was in person at TwitchCon, but it was I think it was H3 back when I was in that soup, which is another egoic mess. H3 challenged something that he did, and he got to the point that he could no longer defend himself with like these ridiculous excuses, because H3 kept being like, you're wrong, you're lying, whatever. And he gets to the point where he's like on the ground doing the fucking worm because he can't, like, his ego literally could not handle the situation, and he had to do something ridiculous to like lash out. That is an extreme form of like ego lashing. That's what I always think of when it's like, when you get to the point that you can't dramatize your victimhood or throw all of your excuses or whatever, you literally can't explain yourself anymore, and instead of being like, you know what, I was wrong, he gets on the floor and starts acting like a fucking worm. And some people are in their ego so much that they cannot admit they're wrong, which is why I always say, like, and it's on my profiles when I was like doing apps and stuff, like dating apps and stuff, like, if you haven't faced your ego, then like I don't want to deal with everyone responds with, I've done so many psychedelics. It's like, that's not at all what I mean, man. I mean, can you handle upset? Can you handle criticism of certain actions without turning into a worm? Sorry, that was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. And once you like get to the point that you realize that these are just actions of the ego you start to see it in the pattern that it is, and it's really hard not to like call it. And sometimes it's necessary too, but a lot of the time, not a lot of the time, but a good portion of times, especially in volatile relationships between like a man and a woman, it can turn into like a really dangerous situation if you do call it on its face. In person, like. That's why they say never break up with somebody. Never break up with a guy like in private, one-on-one. Because that is the most dangerous time for you, even if it wasn't abusive, it can become. Because some people literally can't, their ego cannot handle rejection. Their ego cannot handle not feeling good enough in that moment. It's too much at a time. Another way that like your ego can get you is like instead of lashing outward and attacking the person that rejected you, you can lash inward. So say you have a date and then they don't, you know, want to continue after that. You can lash outward like a lot of guys do, like, well, I thought you were ugly anyway, or, you know, whatever. Or you can lash inward and be like, this, you know, pick apart every single behavior that you had and why they rejected you and how you can, you know, if I just got another chance, I could do this, like, I could be cooler, I could be more nonchalant, like, that's another way of looking at something with ego. And that was a way that, probably most recently, like, end of last year, was something that I was coping with. And then when I started to actually like look at the patterns of behavior and like take a back seat in things, I noticed that it was nothing about me. The person that did these like shitty things to me was dreadfully insecure. And is it Occam's razor that's like the most likely, like on paper, if you like looked at and writ down wrote down like the behaviors, the facts, the things that were said, you know, people tell on themselves all the time. It was not that there was something that I could have done that was wrong, because all of the things that I was picking at myself for didn't line up in a complete story. But all of the things that this person said and did and all of that just was dreadfully obvious that they were just incredibly insecure. Another ego issue. Sabotaging connections because you don't feel good enough for them. Ego. Get out of your lizard brain. Which is why, like, especially as a streamer and online person in whatever capacity that I have been and continue to do that, I've always been somebody who can admit when I've done things wrong, even if nobody points it out or brings it up as an issue, which I don't think anybody ever has done that to me, but I think about things that happened and I'll feel really bad about something that I did or said or allowed, and I'll talk about it. I'll openly bring it up because it's not something that I stand by, and it's not something that I ever want people to think, and I don't ever want anybody to think that I can't take criticism or I can't take other points of view of different situations. Because that's just not who I am as a person. And like, if somebody told me that my actions were harmful or hurt them, I would be like, oh shit, no way? Like, tell me more? But I think you have to feel comfortable and, I guess, safe in your identity and yourself and who you are to be able to take those things. And that's the problem with, unfortunately, a large portion of creators of any capacity is that they're not secure. So they can't admit that they've done horrible shit. So they'd rather worm on the ground. Then they'd be like, you know what? You're right. I should probably handle that. There's a cap to my water. Three of Goblets speaks to alone time, independence. Three's a crowd. It's Three of Goblets. Goblets always speak to emotion. And the cup. Your cup is your emotion. Just going with the Magician and the Queen of Blades is in solitude, and creating without abandon, in a sense. Don't criticize yourself so hard. Get out of your ego. This is one that we have on the list, but I like it. Shit, I have a lot of playlists. Okay, there it is. I kind of hate how, like, the playlist that I make for that's YouTube, by the way, that I make for my channel are in with my playlist that, like, I have for, you know, music or whatever. Knight of Blades just kind of has the same energy as a Queen of Blades. Movement based only on feeling. And without feeling, action is just senseless movement. Make sure you're taking your feelings into account. And actually feel your feelings. Don't run from them. Which is something I've been practicing more of. Like, when I'm overwhelmed, allowing myself to be overwhelmed for a little bit and just feeling like what that feels like. Because I had for a long time a tendency to stuff them down until I couldn't feel them in any other capacity besides, like, literally catastrophizing everything. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can be sad and not think everything's out to get you. You can be sad and still be positive. Like, I can cry because I'm overwhelmed, but not become the victim of my situation. Which, that's another thing, is, like, ego is your victimhood. all the reasons why it's impossible for you to get better, or it's impossible for you to make a change, or anything like that. It's mostly your ego trying to preserve itself, because what is known is safe because it's predictable, even if what is known and that you feel safe in is chaos. So when you stop having that chaos, inciting it again will feel like comfortable and safe because you know the prediction of what's going to happen. And it's easier to stay in that. It's easier to experience those emotions and brain chemicals again the way that you know them to be. I'm just resetting some things because not a whole lot is popping out. I've just basically just been celebration coming up, coming in quickly with the Chariot, which is Wednesday's literally my birthday, so I knew that one. And then being creative without worrying what people will think. Neuroscience and ego and trauma cycles and stuff like that is something that's I've been heavily interested in recently, because it's obviously very relative to the things that I have gone through and how to fix it and keep it from happening again. Is that it's actually easier to lob grenades in my life because the outcome is what you expect, what I expect it to be, I guess. Which I'm not saying that I have recently at all had the inclination to lob any grenades. I've actually been doing really good and trying to have healthier communications and things like that. And be healthier to myself. But people who tend to get, like, stagnant and then start a bunch of drama, and they seem to, like, once things seem to quiet down for them, they kick up and start another drama or whatever. Sometimes it's to keep their name in conversations and things like that, but sometimes it's because that's what's known, that's what's safe, that's what's better. It's not just, like, if people are talking bad about me, at least they're talking about me. It's not necessarily that. It's that I expect that people will talk bad about me, so I'm going to do things that make them talk bad about me because that is the only thing I know. Would I crumble if people started to have a good view of me? And then if people started to have a good view of me, what if I fuck up? Then what will they do, you know? I think a good example of that is if you followed Trisha Paytas for any point of time. You know that she was the kind of person who would, when criticized or provoke, she would either lash out or she would, you know, like, for example, like the DID situation, is that she was having some kind of identity struggles and, you know, identified with this disorder in a certain sense, and then people came after her and were like, you're just doing this for attention. So she just leaned into it, and, you know, like, it's like, well, if you want to see crazy, I'll be fucking crazy, like that kind of thing. That is a very egoic thing. But the reason I smiled when I pulled the card, not this one, but the one before it, of talking about how I'm trying not to blow up my life and relationships and stuff, and I've actually been consistent with it. The Empress came out. Chill tarot talks with like fucking trap going on. The vibes immaculate. But yeah, Empress always speaks of natural leadership and warmth. Focuses on growth and hope and positive. Not necessarily positive, but because growth sometimes can feel like it's not positive. Because sometimes growth really fucking hurts and really fucking... It's a suffering that you've never known before. The Empress has a fairy nature, and I don't necessarily think they mean like fae, because fae are just creatures of their own. She has many symbols of power. And the Empress is always in a receiving energy as well. With like being a symbol of motherhood. She can receive things without feeling obligated to do anything in return. Which is always how it should be. If you do something for somebody in the hopes of anything in return, then it's not a selfless deed. Like if you do things to be seen as good, you do things to be seen as, you know, whatever, not because you genuinely are good or want to be good, but you do them because you want to be seen as good, that is a very selfish act. It's our theme song, man. It used to be. This is a song I start every stream with, but it used to be like the end of my videos, my intro, something like that. So the Valley of Wands, which was the second one that popped out as I was talking, is earth melted by fire. As lava is molten, it is adaptable. It's I just lost all thought because I thought about the volcanoes in Iceland. It's in my brain, oh my gosh. But again, it implies creativity and an artistic attitude, which is again using art with the unbridled emotions and not caring really what people see or how they view what you do. It puts you in a situation of leadership and being able to show others that it's okay to create what they want to create. I don't know why, but I just got the instinct to wipe this. By wipe this, I mean bring the cards in and start over or something else. Success comes within artistic vision. I'm just going off the top, not the top of my head, but with thoughts that I have as things pass. Some people call it channeling. I don't necessarily believe so. Some people think I'm an alien or an oracle. I don't believe so either. I am a struggling human. But I had a thought and then I just lost it because I was explaining myself. It was along the lines of doing good to be seen as good. I guess it's kind of like beware of somebody who wants to be seen as a nice person for whatever reason. Not saying that you can't be nice, not saying you can't be a nice person. I'm saying somebody who is so desperate to be seen as nice that they won't put up when the time comes, you know? It's another weakness in the mind, because your loyalty and the things that you say and the goodness in you should not change if you're, if you're put in a room that it's seen as, more acceptable or better to be a hateful person. And in a way, niceness or kindness always comes with, like, being nice to one person. It can inherently be mean or hateful to another. Like, if you're, let's take Pride for example. Like, if you're nice and you're a person that homophobic people, transphobic people, whatever, feel comfortable around and think that you're with them, then you're inherently being hateful and you're creating more toxic environments or uninhabitable environments for gay people and, trans people. So you have to decide, like, where your moral lies instead of just being nice to everybody throughout to keep yourself safe. You have to decide where your fight is and where your morals are. Which is, brings back to, like, the ego thing of, like, when people say, I don't like when, someone uses this word for me, or, it says, hey guys, or whatever, it makes me feel uncomfortable. If your reaction is to say all of the reasons why they shouldn't use, guys as a neutral term, or they is not a technical pronoun, or whatever excuse it is to not treat people the way that they are asking to be treated, that's ego. That's not being able to accept that there are other views besides your own. And that's something that you really have to evaluate yourself. And if someone says on a public face that they, they do support you and everything and call themselves an ally and everything, and then behind closed doors they're agreeing with the people who are like, it's so stupid that we can't say guys anymore, things like that, then that's not an ally. That's not a nice person. That's not a, a good person under, my personal definition. Always beware of somebody who, like, again, calls himself a nice person, calls himself an ally. Those things are usually reserved for other people to describe you. Allyhood is not claimed, it is earned. Allyhood a word? You feel me. Fuck it. Allyship, is that the word? I don't fucking know. Sometimes I say things not realizing what I'm saying. Most of the time it makes sense, and a lot of the time comes out more wise than I realize. I don't like this one. Valley of Blades. Mercedes from Pan's Labyrinth, we were talking about her. whenever I was streaming before my PC died. She is the ultimate friend, like ultimate friend, ultimate ally, ultimate protector of Ophelia throughout. Gave me chills. Yeah, so this card represents the power of invention and the growth that comes from a combination of a great scope and a honed practical sense. A great scope being allowing multiple points of view, and a practical sense being able to apply those things, which is inherently the things that we've been talking about. Things that I've been talking about. And then the devil card, Hellboy, came up after that. Which again, as we've spoken before, the devil is not necessarily a symbol of being evil. That is a completely human symbolism that we've attached to this creature. I like this one. That playlist moved to the top. In reality, he's irrational, unbridled, atavistic, amoral. The card's appearance in a spread takes us to that territory where law, reason, and morality succumb to the empire of passion, appetite, and pure unleashed will. Like I was saying, doing things not necessarily because they are moral, but because they feed your own ego. But the devil can also be representative of, like it says, passion and doing things whether or not it's seen as good or bad. The devil never lacks confidence. He exists and acts because because that is what he wants. That is who he is. The dogs are not being hurt, they are excited. That's what that sound is. If it, I mean, technically, I guess that the devil could be read as the ego. In terms of men, in terms of man. Humans, people. Another synonym, let's go. The ego, it doesn't, in the moment, doesn't care whether it's a good or bad thing that it's doing. It's lashing to preserve. And people who are lashing can be incredibly passionate about what they're doing and saying, even if it's not because of a good thing. Remember if I said it, but I put If I put tarot in the title or in my notifications, I wouldn't end up doing it. And now I've been doing it the whole time. I do have, like, a collection of videos, because we also, for the part 2, which I would typically start, like, now, of this stream, we go to comment sections or different things of the internet that have made me have made me giggle. I just don't know. I know that I have collected some, but I don't know what they are, so I'm hesitant to share. No, come on, man. You know I don't like when you do this. Holy goblets, though. That's what we would call a happy little accident. Or was it? Or was it? Let's see. And I also have the deck still split. Don't know why. So Queen of Goblets is clear thoughts, intentions, and feelings. That's our only base card. And then 6. 6 upright is transition, change, releasing baggage. As I say, release. I did that because that's the thing I drew yesterday. Two of Goblets, unified love, partnership, mutual attraction. Three of Goblets inverted was Three's a Crowd, which we had earlier. And then 10 of Goblets upright. Which I think is... yeah, divine love, blissful relationships, harmony, and alignment. That was really cool. I couldn't do that again if I tried. So approaching relationships with your ability to see different views and a pure unbridled passion leads to positive and wish fulfillment. I believe that's what that is when it says divine love and all of that. And this is also the soulmate card, so if I was a predatory TikTok creator, I would say your soulmate's coming in. Divine love is happening. Double tap to claim. Comment, you claim. Engage with this so the universe knows that you're ready for it. Sorry, I'm just being a bitch now. May you experience love so divine. You don't have to watch another tarot reading. The Hermit, back to alone time. Back to solitude and contemplation. Damn. It's getting a little weird. I used the same method. You've been sitting here watching me do this for over an hour. That was cool. And nothing was jumping out, and then all of a sudden, all the goblets. No, that's... They were fucking with me. The 9 is the... wish fulfillment card, not 10. 10 was divine love. 9 was wish fulfillment, so... As I was doing that, both of those came out, and you're like, you idiot. Read your cards correctly. But 10, 10 of goblets, 10 of anything is the completion of a cycle. It's the... Besides the king, it's the most, it's the epitome of, like, whatever that is. It's the most complete of that will be. Yeah, the way I read my cards is, I think, different than 90% of people, at least on the internet. Because I read them more as... Because you can use them for things like storytelling, because they follow, as I always say, the numbers follow the alchemical transmutation of energy, starting with 1 being creation, the magician, and then 10 being the completion of the cycle, or the epitome of that thing, the end, the finish line, if you will. And so I read them in a way that's essentially a pattern, I guess, acknowledging certain patterns, like with the goblets thing that just happened. That if you are to do these things, like check your ego and unleash your creativity, that's when you experience the divine love, the soulmate partnership, that furthering the cycle, because it aligns with the patterns of human behavior that are very apparent in a lot of things. Yeah. And like back to the Trisha thing of like, she was that type of person for a really long time, and then she had to actively make the choice to stop doing all of those self-destructive behaviors or things that made the internet hate her, because that was, even though that's what was familiar, she found something that was worth learning how to not do those things, learning a new pattern of behavior. And she talks about it. I've obviously been a fan is like a hard word for me. She's somebody that I've watched on and off for years, so I'm familiar with her pattern. And when she got into a relationship, she said, like, the relationship that she wanted, which was Moses, she said it was something that obviously she wanted to do it for herself, but it was something outside of herself that she wanted to change for. And then she got everything that she's wanted. Is, if you've known her at all, she's always wanted to be a mother, but was told she was infertile because of some choices she made back when she was young. And obviously now she has 2 kids. So if you're making your choices for approval, or if you're making your choices to be seen as the, you know, the nice guy, that's not enough to solidify a change. You will fall back into your old behavior at some point. You have to really want it for yourself, but also, you know, also for the other person, but not necessarily cleaning up because of the person themselves, but because you want the relationship with that person. Ha. And then the Knight of Wands. It came out a little bit ago. Right before the Devil revisited us. It speaks of inspirational power and the ability to help. That's why it's represented by the two different forms of fairy from Pan's Labyrinth. You can help people and inspire people without ego. But I also talk about these things in terms of pattern and stuff, not because of connecting with any collective or anything like that, but a way to describe these patterns and how you can break them and it will be okay. Like, you don't have to dig in and, you know, clench. A fun word. You can release and let go of the outcome, and it will be okay. You'll get your divine love, as our goblets were saying earlier. Patience, solitude. Sometimes we have to go within ourselves and be like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I reacting this way? Why do I feel threatened by somebody saying that something I did was not what I intended it to do? Or intended to do, not intended it to do. Whether we're talking back to... I'm just gonna keep calling him QVC because I don't fucking know. Like, bro, you don't have to do that. You can admit that you fucked up and you still will be supported. A lot of the times you will be more supported if you admit that you fuck up than if you don't and you self-preserve and you give excuses as to why you can't change. People tend to not look favorably on that. Because somebody outside of yourself can see all of the ways that you're just claiming victimhood instead of actively trying to change and make a difference. You do have an ability to help. And people watching you go through it and come out okay on the other side. That's too much. Ooh. Maybe not. I didn't want to go back in. So lower, we have Ace of Goblets, 7 of Goblets, 5 of Goblets. We are so up in our feels today. I only know the Lovers in verses. Which is another one of my favorite ones. It's the Devil again. The synchronicity is even starting to make me freak out. No, I'm kidding. Lower is not intrinsically good or bad. More than any other, it depends on the cards around it, which is all of our goblets, man. Which is because it's funny because goblets represent water, which is what represents emotions, and the lovers in this deck is represented by the two figures from The Shape of Water. Okay, so as I got another set of... It is hot as fuck in here, so there's no reason why I should be getting chills constantly, but I did. If the Hermit appears before the lovers, which it did, it shows a situation in which the decision has to be made by a person on their own. And if it appears afterwards, then it's a decision that will lead to loneliness, but it didn't. It comes after the Hermit, which is somebody who has to make a decision on their own, surrounded by all of the goblets. And an emotional decision, which is, like we said, the fighting the ego is very... It can be a very emotionally futile thing. Is that what I want to say? Wait. No, that's not what I mean. Emotional futility is a feeling of effort, action, or emotion that has no result or effect. So you may believe that it's futile to address these emotions or address these conflicts because, you know, nothing's ever going to change for me, kind of thing. Or even if I do this, I'm not going to get what I want out of it. That's your ego talking. Wrong one.
You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning, you wonder how I got this way.
Like this one too. Oh, it's already on there, okay. I guess Past Me liked it too. Yeah. That's funny though. As she's the lyrics and what she was saying is that some things never change. It always ends this way. It's never gonna change. It's never gonna get better. That's your ego fighting something that could be. I need to say it again. wish fulfillment. And then your Seven of Goblets is, again, opportunities, choices. Which, coming with the Lovers and the Hermit, means a choice that you have to make internally. And the opportunities that will come from it. And then Ace being one, being creation. New relationships, new love, new compassion, creativity. A new view of things. I know I don't typically do these, but I'm actually having fun. I've never been so clearly able to read my cards. It's exciting. I like taking things that seem like a difficult or like something that you have to study or something to acquire the skill, like tarot, and taking it and breaking it down into like more common terms that it's easier for everybody or a wider scope to understand, which is why I always talk about how it's the alchemical transmutation of energy. which is, you know, creation, and then polarity, which is follows the same patterns of like relationships or starting new endeavors in your life. You'll have the creation, and then the polarity is your first moment of like contention, or like in a movie when you're first introduced to your characters is going to be your creation, and then, you know, 2 being a polarity or contention, as it's not like the peak, the climax of the film that's, you know, the great conflict. It's more of a small conflict so we can see how our main character reacts to changes in the world around them, so we can predict how they're going to react when the climax does come. So like, I can't not off the top of my head, but take like a bullying movie or whatever, or a teenage movie where the people are experiencing bullying or whatever. Typically you'll see like the introduction of the character and how they are in different dynamics, and you'll see something of like them standing up for a kid who got bullied, or, you know, whatever. So when the great conflict comes, or, you know, become a superhero or whatever, you know that they're going to have that goodness in them because you saw it in the small conflict, which was the polarity. I don't know why I thought bullying movie. And then when I got to like superhero, I think I was thinking of like Spider-Man. Like I think I'm wrong. Not about Spider-Man. Yeah, my brain said Tom Hiddleston, which is Loki. Tom Holland. I've like typically, I've watched a couple of his films, not just Spider-Man, but like in the beginning, he typically plays like the good guy, the hero, whatever. In the beginning, you'll see something where he has a choice very early on to stand up for somebody small, or to make a right choice with something that happens. If someone were stealing or whatever, he gets the opportunity to make it right, so you know that when he gains his powers or he becomes the person who's going to be the hero, you know that he's going to act from a place of good. What's that other movie he was in? I think I was thinking about Uncharted. And then 3, obviously, afterwards becomes the expansion, which is, like, in a character, would be after the polarity, either the way that they're seen is greater, or they're given some power that makes them greater. It can be expansion of wealth, it can be expansion of, what it is when you're always liked. What is it? When you're liked for the right reasons. Expansion of your social currency. What the fuck is my brain doing? Man. These cards are giving up on me, but that's okay, because it's close to my time anyway. I've yapped for this long. Yeah, I like putting things in the perspective of, I guess, social so like a movie that everybody has seen, or like social things like that those of us that are chronically online would understand. Yes, I was there for the Clinton Kane drama. Yes, I am absolutely eating it up. Yes, he is 100% ego lashing. I was one of those people that built their following off of using like popular things like that. I could do a linguistic analysis of his accents. But I won't. I don't think. Unless there's something to learn from it, I don't really see the point. Like, you know, bringing up the QVC thing. XQC! I think that's his name. Fuck. I'm still gonna call him QVC. Yeah, that's that guy. He's the one that, like, wormed on the ground. And, like, bringing that up and stuff is not for any kind of notoriety. Obviously, I don't put it in any of my information. The topics that I talk about, it's just things that I pick from my brain. There is something that can be learned there, which, again, is you don't have to worm on the floor. You can just say, you know what, I fucked up. Or like with Boogie, you don't have to scream and, you know, cry that this is the last shred of privacy on the internet. You can just say, you know what, I misunderstood something. And I messed up and I should not have capitalized on it. But with the Clinton Kane situation, the only thing that is learned is the only thing that is the same thing that's been learned through basically all toxic relationships being put onto the internet. Is that you gotta watch out for those in their ego, man. If they love their ego more than they love you, you gotta get out or it's really gonna get bad. That was funny. A bit ago, I didn't read it because it was already 5 o'clock, but there was a card that popped out and I looked in my thing when it was. And it was the Ten of Blades, and it's resisting an inevitable end, which is kind of what I'm doing now with resisting the end of my stream. Expecting that something else will happen, and instead my cards just keep... It's not word vomiting when they just throw 40 at you. But this week I will for sure be watching season 3 of Lost. I'm gonna finish up my rewatch of 2. And actually, I've talked about how Jack was like the nice guy narcissist of season 1. That's an ego thing too. A wounded ego. Like, I gotta be the savior. I gotta be the one that does this, and then getting mad at people when they're expecting you to save them because you've played the savior up to this point. We got our goblets again. I'm not taking any of this as serious. It's technically past my end time, but I have difficulty with goodbyes. I'm just kidding, that's not true. I'm very good at saying goodbye to things that I don't really care about. Personal transition, resistance to change. Oh! And the Ten of Goblets in reverse, so resistance to change and resistance to your personal transition can do the opposite. Which is disconnection, misaligned values, and struggling relationships. Cards are just affirming all the bullshit in my brain. You can't even say I'm delusional. I may have been up to this point, but I'm just kidding. That's a joke, because I don't know. It's something that I've been thinking about recently because I took a vow to do, like, as part of my CPTSD healing of, like, not entering relationships and actually healing myself and quieting my ego and things like that. And one of the things is no talking stages. It's like, I don't have talking stages. I have Delulu stages, I have realization stages, and I have exit stages. May have been a little Delulu. Slam back to reality. Hi, Fox. Yeah, it's definitely challenging. The year of none of that. When it's like all you've ever known. As I've said, you know, you get addicted to brain chemicals of that toxic relationship dynamic. And you start to seek it everywhere. And every time I'm about to, I'm like, nope, nope, nope. 1 year! Right before I leave. And you know what? That nope, nope, nope has saved me like 6 times. No one can fake it longer than at the most 90 days, but most don't make it past 30, 60. It's that I want to be seen as good. I want to rush into things, love bomb, and meet up right away. And I'm just like, eh. It's easier to be manipulated that way than to just take time. That sucks. I mean, it sucks that so many things turn out to be that. But I guess I just gotta assess who I let into my life a little better. Which I have been. I've been doing good with that. Toxic people just, like, run away. Kind of funny at this point. I see that red flag and I'm like, and they're gone. I don't even have to point it out anymore. Get that one response, it's like, ooh, this is reminiscent, this is familiar. And the thing is, if you don't respond to it, the ego has to run away. Maybe someday I'll do a video of my the list of red flags that I have I have collected. Because once you get, like, the thing with toxic relationships is that you typically do the thing of, like, oh, it's, you know, it's love or whatever. So you excuse a lot of things, or you make things as the crabby childhood fairy I've talked about in other videos, but probably not on stream. She says it's crap fitting, of like taking, you know, whatever it is and fitting it into, taking a pile of crap and fitting it into like a story or a narrative or whatever that allows you to keep going on in these processes. So, you know, stories of people doing dreadfully average things and then being like, oh, they're my hero, or, you know, whatever. So we have to stay together forever, like that kind of thing. And when you do that, there's no opportunity to take a step back, because the red flags don't look like red flags. They look like things that you can fit into your story to make it grander love than it could ever be. Say that one. Make the story greater than it is. Spending all day, every day together, so you never get the chance to have a scope. And like going back to the Clinton Kane thing as an example, was something that Brooke said, was that they were together like all of the time, and he would start to lash out if she ever were to want to take some time to herself, because it gives you the time to reflect. And if you know that your behavior is not good, you don't want that person reflecting, because they'll see that your behavior is not good. So if you're constantly in this lovey-dovey whatever, then you never get the chance to like actually sit back and be like, is this really what I want? Because they never want you to question it. And whether it's a narcissistic person like them, or whether it's an attachment wound or whatever, like a narcissistic person would be like, I don't want you to see that the behavior that I'm displaying is toxic, because then you know, you'll leave. Attachment wounds are similar in, if you get the chance to really think about this, you might leave me, you might abandon me. And you never want to do that to somebody, because you don't ever want somebody to feel trapped. And there will be a point. There is always an antithesis of where it all reaches. And once you get that space, whether it be the first year or in the fourth year, speaking from personal experience, having kind of gone through that multiple times, once you get that space and you actually reflect on things, you're like, oh shit, this is fucking gross. And I don't deserve it. But that doesn't stop you from jumping into the same thing in a different form, in a different person. That's where you have to fight the brain chemicals, because toxic feels safe and you know how it's gonna play out. Everything that I said was a fear of mine ended up coming true, and it wasn't because it was a fear, it was because of pattern recognition. But I never got the opportunity to doubt myself. And sometimes you need to doubt yourself, because sometimes you're fucking crap fitting. You are fitting a pile of shit into a Prince Charming costume. I don't necessarily believe that there needs to be like a Prince Charming situation, because I feel like that just falls into the whole somebody's love is gonna save you I'd rather have an average person that can admit that they're wrong. It doesn't need to be a knight. It's interesting because all of that shuffling that I've been doing, and I still have like the same goblet spread with the devil. Intuition. And you should never enter something to prove a point. Yeah, if somebody says that they don't believe in love or relationships, you don't enter something to prove that you will love them, or to prove that love does exist, or to prove that somebody does believe in them. They have to find it within themselves. That's another ego thing. You can't make something matter to somebody, as we were talking about before with, you know, being nice to somebody who, you know, maybe homophobic, transphobic, racist, whatever. You're inherently being unkind to the people affected by those things. But you can't stand there and scream and shout and change their mind. They have to change it themselves. So you just remove yourself from that situation instead of trying to make yourself a comfortable person for them to act that way around. It just made me think of that falling out I had with somebody in like 2020, because a part of absurd humor was using slurs when it was private, and I'm like, the fact that because it's safe, because you know that I don't feel that way. It's like the fact that you need a safe person to say these things around should indicate that there's a problem there, that you should not be saying these things regardless. And I'm not going to be the safe place for that kind of shit to happen. And we have not spoken since. Evaluate yourself. But the ego won't allow that to happen. The ego will tell you, oh, it's just a joke, or oh, it's just this, or excuse. Instead, analyze why you think it's funny to be hateful. So the theme of today has been ego and feelings, apparently, with all the goblets that are just pouring over. No discs today. A couple blades, but no discs. Discs, pentacles, is usually earthly, physical things. Can speak to money and richness. Today has been more of richness within relationships after quiet contemplation, soul searching. How they get so fucked up when I haven't done anything but pull them out and put them in the same, and yet they get all upside down. Ooh, no towers today. Every time I pull towers, like when I'm doing for myself, which again, typically it's not as a point of divination. Hey, what's going on, James? It's not a point of divination of things. It's more of like what your intuition might say that you're not facing, which again, ego. But every time I pull a tower card, I'm like, damn it. because that means you have to like deconstruct, and like a tower moment is a point of deconstructing for me, tower is worse than the tower card is worse than the death card, because the death card speaks of like death and reformation, the burning of the phoenix and then rising from the ashes, where the tower is like you have to analyze and deconstruct your points of view and the things inside your mind and the way that you view things, which typically means letting go of people that don't serve you, places that don't serve you, beliefs that don't serve you. What's the tower? Oh, tower. Yeah, the presence of the tower means disaster, and it can rarely be interpreted in a positive way. But best case is under the sun or around the Fool, which represents demolition of outdated structures and liberation from an oppressive environment. So liberation from, you know, even oppressive beliefs. But inverted, the tower becomes the ruin, which is like, I guess as we've been saying with the ego stuff, of digging into your ego and, you know, clenching, and it sustains more damage, and then rebuilding is even harder. So every time I see a tower card in like a personal intuition thing, I'm like, fuck. I gotta analyze, I gotta let go, I gotta do all that fucking hard stuff. Damn it. So the fact that today has just been like celebrate yourself, go like in solitude, assessing how you feel and how you're interacting, and it leading to goblet after goblet, which is emotional stuff, emotional fulfillment, creative fulfillment, artistic fulfillment, new opportunities, wishes coming true. All of that comes from the internal contemplation. Yeah. For those who say that, who may say or may think that it's just because this, you know, the same cards are coming up or whatever. We have not. We saw the devil a lot today too, which can just be pure unbridled passion, but it can also represent the ego in certain ways. Because the ego is not focused on what is good. The ego is usually in your lizard brain, self-preserve, self-preserve, self-preserve at whatever cost. And that sometimes that cost is the people that you love. So you have to go into quiet contemplation and assess why those things may need to change. But yeah, it's coming up to 5:30, so I should start wrapping things up. I guess it's gonna go on Instagram. I don't know, I gotta rebrand my Instagram because I'm tired of it. Kinda tired of the objectification for this point in time, but up on Instagram was where I posted the art that I was working on yesterday and what I will be continue working on further today. We also saw Lovers today, which is a card I rarely ever pull. Which doesn't speak to relationships, it goes with the people around you. Or the cards around it, which the cards around it were all goblets, which is funny because these are from the Shape of Water. Even though Lovers isn't typically a water card because it's Del Toro and it's the Shape of Water, it does kind of fit. It represents a choice of, with the Hermit, it represents going into that isolation and making a choice for yourself. But yeah, this week I'm going to try to refinish Season 2 of Lost, and Season 3, I'm going to be working on some art, which you'll probably see on Instagram. I could also post the stuff on Ko-Fi, but like there's nothing there, so I don't really know. Wednesday is my birthday, but I will be live at least the 3 to 5:30 window that I usually am, and I'll either be doing just chatting to do this again, or Skyrim or Destiny, because I've been playing that again and it's been fun. And that way we can like queue up with some people if they want to. But I don't typically make plans for things. I'm not very good at making plans with people. I usually wait for people to make plans with me, so I don't invite people to my birthday party. I just celebrate alone, and if somebody wants to show up, that's fine. That's good. So that's what I'll be doing. And then I have not recovered all of the Fallout stuff. I'm hoping by Friday I can recover everything and have Fallout Friday. But whatever if I don't, then whatever I don't do on Wednesday, I'll end up doing on Friday. So if I play Skyrim on Wednesday, I will probably play Destiny on Friday or something like that, even though I said I would never stream Destiny. It's just been such a fight. The worst part about my computer going down as it did was not wiping it. That was the fastest thing. It's been restoring everything that's been the hardest. It took me like 5 separate days of work to get Skyrim working again, so I don't know how Fallout's gonna go. So fingers crossed we'll have Fallout Friday because I love it. And I also saw as a the last stream, I can't remember if it was the last stream I did or if it was the last Fallout stream I did, I was talking about how Fallout doesn't have...
Yeah.
Oh, Crippus, thank you so much for the sub. I did not hear the alert, so I don't know if that went off or not. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. My train of thought. Oh, I saw a thing that... Because at the end of like one of my last streams, I was saying that I didn't want to finish the main story of Fallout because I didn't want Fallout to end. Because I love existing in that world. I love Fallout Friday. So right after that, I said that and I ended the stream, I went onto my phone and I got an alert for I guess it was a mod. It's not actually technically the story, but there's a mod that adds like 20 hours of content to Fallout. And I was like, oh, they're listening. They want us. So as I'm modding, I might look for some things like that add more content. I also have, I believe in my Channel Point Redemptions, I have choosing my weapon and my armor and stuff like that, but hopefully I'll be able to put some more in soon. I'll like choose my follower and maybe we'll dress some settlers and make a party in Fallout. Make all the settlers attend my birthday party. I swear I'm not lonely. No, kidding, I'm actually not. I'm good. I am finally secure in myself. But yeah, I will be back on Wednesday for my birthday. And since there's been no other ideas, I have not landed on a plan. But I appreciate everybody, and I really hope to see you then. I will be live at least 3 p.m. Eastern, if not before / after. Like if I start early or if I start on time, I might go later just because it's my birthday and I want to do stuff. Look out for my art that's coming up. And some other kind of stuff. I'm kind of working on something behind the scenes too. That's just like, it's just in the thought phase right now. I gotta write some actual stuff for it, but there'll be other content that's not the YouTube channel that currently exists. But if you want to if you want to describe to the YouTube channel that does exist, you can do that as well. I am running out of good words, so I should peace out of here. I appreciate all of you very much. I appreciate the subs today, and those of you who hung out with me and listened to me rant on about egos and all of that. Remember, you can always make changes and act in healthier ways, and it will be okay. I'll see you soon.